All right. Hey, you guys, quick video. I was just on a long hike and I was at work this morning, but I'm not in my work clothes anymore because I got so hot on this hike. I'm trying to do something different, which is wear a tank top, and I just don't wear a tank top. But I know it seems like just a small thing, but anyway, I just got so energized from watching a different video as I was on my hike. At the end of my hike, I was meditating, sort of, before that. I guess you could call it meditating. Okay, so let's get to it. One of the things I was thinking about is how there's construction going on still in my house. So if you hear the noises, just deal, because I'm having to deal. And this is just the circumstance that I'm in. But okay, so the idea was, why do we want to live our lives trying to please other people? I've been learning, as you guys know, if you've been following my channel, a lot about how to stop operating from a pleasing place, from trying to please other people, and you don't even realize it's a subtle thing. It's like our egotism just develops this identity, and it just wants to keep staying alive. So staying alive. Oh, you guys didn't get to see the video yet. I videoed me yesterday going down this hill, and I have these crap headphones that just kept going on, and they would switch the songs, and I had the Ready Player One soundtrack on, and I was going down this scary hill, like thinking I might die or whatever, and it kept switching back to staying alive, staying alive. I was laughing so hard. Anyway, all right, so back to the serious part of your life and how to transform your life, how to get higher consciousness, how to be your own real person, how to not let your ego dominate your life. One honest thing that I noticed about my own life was this fear of intimacy, and I didn't realize I had it. I mean, I realized it on a level because I was in a relationship and I kept agreeing in that relationship to be really far away from that person. And so I'm going to recommend this certain video. I'm going to put it in the link here, and I just put it on Twitter. I love how this is the video I was just listening to, but I was already thinking this, so it's so cool. It's like when you're already vibing this, and you probably are, or you wouldn't have stumbled upon my video or come across here, because when you're already vibing something, when you're in that tune, it's like tuning into a radio station, then the world will keep reflecting back to you that. And so we're in a good place right now. Don't watch my other videos. No, I'm usually in a good place when I'm making the videos. But because it was talking about how to choose your own path, and why we don't choose our own path, and how we think we're just pleasing ourselves, or we think we're operating on this high level of this is what I want, but it's really just your ego that's running the show, that keeps saying, it keeps wanting to stay alive. That's all it wants. But I was going to say, this fear of intimacy is what we can often do is, it's just like the frequency again. You're tuning into a certain station. So like, let's say with me and Elliott, right? Is I found someone like Elliott. I mean, my higher self, or whatever you want to call it, like the radio actually turned that day. I got this intuition to turn my radio on to, I was listening to talk radio and onto just music. I was driving. This is the day I met Elliott. Well, I didn't introduce myself that night. I met someone in line at the show I went to. Anyway, okay, so I turned the radio station, and all of a sudden, right when I turned it, it said, it was like the end of a song, an 80s song or something, even though this was late. It was just an 80s station. Well, alternative 80s, but anyway, K-Rock. It was like, tonight, Elliott Smith of the movie Good Will Hunting, da-da-da-da-da. This is before the Academy Awards and stuff. So his song was already in a movie, and I'd seen the movie 5 times, Good Will Hunting, because I was almost a psychologist, and I loved Robin Williams as a psychologist, and I resonated with the music. Obviously, if my soul, this is a long video if we do that, so I'm not going into that. But for me, I have an understanding that my soul recognized Elliott, even in the music and the song, and this is one of the why I kept going back to the movie. And so my soul knew Elliott, and you don't have to believe that or anything, but so my guardian angel, or whatever you want to call it, something prompted me inwardly, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, the universe, fate, destiny, to change the radio station, turn the radio station on. And I was getting over a breakup. So freaking glad. Oh my gosh, that would have been a disaster. PK. If you guys know what a PK is, it's fine. Then just know that. But I'm not going to say it right now. It's not a bad thing. It's just my dad is a psychiatrist, so I was a psychiatrist kid. This was something else. Anyway, so I was like, I'm going up to LA. It was like the shows tonight at Spaceland, you know, and like Spaceland, like just like Star Wars. I hadn't ever been to Spaceland. It's just like I was in one of those places where it's like, screw this. Like I'm ready to drop all of this. And that's what this video was just talking about. The one that you can see after this if you want. It's like 20 minutes long, but I listened to it at 2 times speed. So it was only 10 minutes long. But it's talking about you either get so satiated with the experience that you're in, like I was talking about the relationship that I was in, not the breakup, the one I was last in. You just get so tired of it not changing, and you working on everything you can work on and taking responsibility for all your own stuff and working really in a mature way, as mature as you can with the other person, you know. That's how I do it. You don't have to do it my way. But then you realize, like, this is not going to grow, and we don't have the same definition. I mean, not that everyone has to be exact or anything, but anyway, you get satiated with an experience. Let's just say you're burning in the fires of hell. I'm not saying that my relationship was like that. A really, really sweet guy. But if you're in this experience where you're just miserable, like Aaron in the video that's next, if you watch it, he's talking about being an experience in childhood where he kept getting abused by his stepmom and kept identifying with that identity. It's like finally you get to a place where like there's, you know, what they say, and I used to work at a rehab too, is you hit rock bottom, you know, and it's like there's nowhere else you can run to, and your ego is just so burnt out and it keeps wanting to stay alive. And so, but you get to a place where you're like, forget this. Like, I don't have anything else to feed my ego. I'm done with feeding my ego. I want to choose my own destiny and my own path. And I choose that and I do that. And so anyway, so I was in this place of like, oh, forget this. Like, I'm going up to LA. I want to meet new people. I want to have new experiences. I loved that movie. I love this music. This person has so much depth and philosophical insight. I could just feel it, like from the music that was playing in the background while they were talking about the show. So I went to the show, and when I was in line outside, I ran into this guy, the new River Phoenix's sister, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about name dropping. It's not like that. But he was going to get in no matter what, because she was friends and she was going to get him in if he couldn't get a ticket. And I didn't know if it was going to be sold out. But he was telling me, oh, well, Elliott goes to this place called Largo every Friday. It's a great place. You'll love it for music anyway. And my friend, I used to go see my friend ski every Friday night. I would go up to LA and we'd play video games at his house and just hang out. It was like cool guy energy. He was a friend from college and graduate school, just like really good friend. And it was like 2 blocks away from Largo. So I knew I could go up to Ski's. I could walk to Largo if I wanted to, park at Ski's house. You know, because walking in LA by yourself at midnight, like, not always the best idea. But anyway, it all worked out. So I went the next night, and that's when I met him, and that's when we recognized each other and became friends, and, you know, lots more after that. But, well, I mean, lots more stuff happened after that. But what I was saying was the frequency, though, okay? Even that, the frequency of how I met, how I connected with Elliott, I was still in that place because of my childhood, I think, where here I met this amazing, intense, philosophical, spiritual, conscious, really conscious and aware man. And I was single and he was not single. So he was not available to me, which is fine because I was getting over my breakup, and he was so sweet about helping me get over my breakup. He's like, "Cheryl, you need a boyfriend." But that's not what he tried to do. It was, anyway, it was just great conversation and a wonderful time, and we had so much in common because for Elliott, his dad was a psychiatrist as well. His biological father that he lived with in Portland, and my dad was. Anyway, blah blah blah. All is to say is, so what happens externally to you is often the frequency and the pattern. I'm not used to this. That you have, that you're still attached to growing up. Okay, so I was used to having. My dad has written like 100 books. You know, he was on Oprah. He sold like 1 million copies of his books after he was on Oprah one time. And that was like a book that he had in the trunk of his car that he just showed. Oh, it was just 11:11. Okay, on the minutes into this. But so I grew up with a very successful psychiatrist father who was a pioneer in his field. He integrated Christianity in a certain way, like a sort of narrow version of Christianity, but nevertheless went on a new path, broke open new ground of integrating that with psychiatry, which is like the medical field, and psychology, and that hadn't been done yet. So he was well known in that genre, and so I grew up with a very charismatic and I would say narcissistic father as well. But narcissists are often very charismatic, but emotionally not available to me. Oh, my hand's probably going all over the mic. Sorry about the noise. All right, so what I did is I would also gravitate towards really charismatic, amazing, talented men who were not available emotionally. And until I went to a lot of therapy, and one of my therapists, point blank, she was like, she's like, Cheryl, you know, if you wanted an available man, oh, I see one of the paintings of this other guy I dated that was unavailable. He's all famous now. Oh, there's his book too. It's funny, I'm in my garage. I'll show you my part of my garage. But it's over there, but I won't say who it is. But again, oh, he's such a sweet guy, and I understand why he wasn't emotionally available, and I understand for Elliott why he wasn't emotionally available. You know, he experienced a kind of abuse in his childhood, Elliott, and some of you guys know that. I won't go into his because that's his story, and if I get an understanding that it's okay, then I will, but not right now. And the other guy I dated was an amazing, amazing artist. Really, really intimate paintings and drawings. But I won't say how he was abandoned, but in a way that was natural at that time. So the parents were just doing what they thought the best thing was to do. Like my parents sent me to camp for a month every summer when I was 8 until I was 18. But it's like if they sent me away to something for more than that, and I'm 5 or 6, you know, that can be really traumatic to a child. But the parents might be thinking it's a great thing to do. But anyway, so I understand that. I understand. And I understand, like, I'm not going to get mad at myself now for picking these amazing men to date that weren't available. Like, later, Elliott was single, and we sort of dated, but if they're not available, then they're not available. They're completely available when you're with them, but it's a different story. Anyway, I won't go into all of that. All I'm saying is that it's easy for me to keep saying, oh, my life would be so much better if these men would just change, blah, 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 blah. And the guy I was in a relationship with for a long time, you know, it's like you get used to a certain level of intimacy, and your egotism or whatever is comfortable right there and doesn't want to change, and isn't motivated to change. And people are around you could be in that same frequency too. I call it like a frequency, like the tuning into the radio station. And they don't want you to change either, because they're all comfortable where they are, and everyone's familiar, and everyone's like, don't rock the boat. And it's like, screw this. Like, this is my life. And I'm not saying like just walk away from everything and abandon, because a lot of people will just walk away from things and create the same problem. They'll just carry that frequency somewhere else. And so I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, okay, I'm going back to my thing, because I can always speak for myself, and then I'm not encroaching on someone else's story. Just being honest about my own is, I'm like, wait a second. What if I'm picking these people because I'm still afraid of intimacy, and I can just be like, oh, this horrible guy. Instead of, again, like I put this on Instagram a while ago. It's in like my story right now. Not my story, but in my like highlight, whatever that is, um, where it's like, instead of saying, why did he do that? Or something like this. Ask yourself, why did I allow that? Why I kept signing up for these breadcrumbs. Or, oh my gosh, I was meeting with a girlfriend of mine the other day. Thank God, it was so nice to see someone in person. But she was like, oh, that's future faking. And I'm like, what? What is future faking? I didn't know what ghosting was, as you guys know. I didn't know what ghosting was. I didn't until I got ghosted. And I was like, what? Wait, what is this? I didn't know what breadcrumbing was, what gaslighting was. Like, I didn't know any terms for the, even as a psychologist. Future faking is, oh, a girlfriend. Like, we're going to have a palace together. No, I love you. I want to be with you. There's no other girl but you. Blah, 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 blah. I always do that. And maybe they believe it or not, but they're future faking. And it's like a tactic that they might use within their own selves to go into this fantasy mode of what they think is going to happen, and it's not happening in real life. Well, don't beat yourself up for falling for that. Just choose, do I want real live intimacy, person showing up in my life, or do I want future faking? And find the ways. Okay, this is going back to you, is find the ways you're future faking yourself. You are watching Pride and Prejudice every night. I'm not. But I'm just saying, if someone was, if you were, I like the Count of Monte Cristo a lot. But that's like transformation. But if you're watching something that like keeps making you pine after, and like all my longing songs, where you're in this, where you can recognize and then break out of this. Any second, you can change your path, where you recognize that you're just giving yourself false promises, because I was used to that in childhood. Okay, so don't beat me up, and I'm not going to beat myself up. Don't beat yourself up unless you want to. Why would you want to? Because I kept having this idea that my dad is so charismatic and he's so intimate and available on the radio. I used to do radio with him, national call-in show, so people would call in all the time, and we'd answer questions. And I'd go to baseball games and stuff with my dad, like, but he seemed so intimate, just like I do to you guys in these videos, and I am in real life, but I also let people in, just my friends are close, and here I am with you as I am with a friend, but you're not in my intimate life. I mean, you are in a way, but so my dad was like that. And so I kept having this idea that my dad would be close to me because he seemed so available outwardly, but he wasn't, because he hadn't healed the internal stuff. And so it was a lot of future faking, and he kept thinking it's the ship's going to come in, even though he had so many ships come in. Like, he sold 1 million copies of his book after Oprah. So it's like, it was always there. But if you're not aware of your own intimacy issues and your own fears of it, and your own staying in your ego, and your own staying away from being present in the present and being alive and connecting, then you can keep blaming all your problems on other people, or future faking and thinking that things are going to show up in the future. And what that does is it keeps us stagnant. It keeps us from having to change. We don't have to change what's familiar, just stay in this place, please everybody. What? Whose life? Whose life are you living? Whose life was I living when I kept thinking I had to please these people? And even in that relationship thing, is keep trying. This is what I tried for years in my last relationship, is keep my last long relationship is keep trying to please this person, and in a way, but still retain my own dignity, but keep trying to, like, if he's not emotionally available, then I try extra hard to be overly emotionally available and did all this extra work. And then the person doesn't have to change anything, and they're used to not changing anything. And they're like, wait, why aren't you doing all this emotional work anymore? It's like, because that wasn't my job to do in the first place. But I was trying so hard to get to a place of intimacy that that person wasn't willing to go to. Instead of, had I just recognized you're not willing to go to this place and addressed it a long time ago, instead of developing a pattern of me overworking and him underworking, and then him overworking in a different area and me underworking, and it becoming imbalanced. But instead of blaming him for the lack of intimacy in my life, this was me. I was not willing to change what I needed to change, and then I changed a lot of things, and that shifted the flow of how we related. And then it, like, other stuff came up, and I won't go into all of that, but all I want to do is say, like, it's easy to blame other people, but it's my choice to wait for someone that's not available and keep repeating my childhood, or else go, no, I'm going to choose to be with someone who's actually available. That's what my therapist said. She's like, if you wanted to date someone that was actually available, then you would find someone who was actually available and pursuing you. And I'm just like, wait, those guys exist? Wait, what? I thought you had to get someone that's really charismatic and had a lot of potential, and help them heal. And it's like, of course, I'm a psychologist, but I like helping people heal, that want to come in and heal, and that's great. I've seen lots of progress with my clients over the years in their lifetimes. It's been amazing to see. And so that's a healthy way for me to use my skills, not in my relationships. Like, no more fixer uppers. Like, we all have our stuff, and none of us are perfect. And it's so fun to be yourself and to find out who you are, and to not live to please other people. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. I love you guys. Much love. Good luck. Bye.